Calgary has been on fire right now. It was up from Q3 of this year compared to Q3 of last year. Sales were up 72%. In this market with these interest rates right now, they were up 72%. And I think that says a lot about the Calgary market because I think people are seeing the value.
We're also the third most livable city in Canada, or actually the world. We have world-class skiing within a 2-hour drive. The mountains, you can reach that within 15 minutes. That's about Canmore, Banff, Lake Louise. A lot of people know those cities, but they don't really know Calgary as well. But we have a lot of really good food and entertainment. So does anybody know the Calgary Stampede? Yeah? Okay, so it is the biggest rodeo show in the world. We actually get over 1 million tourists every single year during July. We have our big music festivals. A lot of artists come to Calgary during that time. Our rental market is huge during that time, and Jason will speak to that later. And we also have a lot of job opportunities. Yeah, so on the side here, you're actually gonna see some statistics that I pulled from CREP, that's our real estate board in Alberta. As you can see here, we have about 3,000 units on the market right now, and that's very low. That's 30% lower than last year. We have a less than 1.5 month inventory right now, so that's pretty big. Calgary's prices have gone up substantially. I know most of you guys probably saw the Alberta is calling signs, and the benchmark price is definitely a lot lower than this. So something to keep in mind, Calgary is still experiencing the multiple offer situations. We're still going into bidding wars. I sold one of Matthew's condos a little while back, and we listed it and it was sold within 24 hours. So one other thing that you guys should know is our rental prices have increased by 18.4%. And that is for our 2 bedrooms. Our 1 bedrooms have actually increased about 21.8%, which is huge. These are substantial numbers that we're experiencing in Calgary. And this is an Alberta snapshot. So this kind of shows you the amount of percentage of people that are actually relocating to Calgary. Alberta has actually grown about 100K people in the last 2 quarters. We've also experienced a 4% year-over-year increase, and we're diversifying. Everyone knows us as the oil and gas city. I'm not saying that's changed, but we are also diversifying. We're getting into the clean energy sector. We're also booming in tech. There's also like transport and logistics jobs that we're bringing in, as well as like media, and Last of Us was filmed in Calgary and Alberta as well. So lots of things happening. Employment. So this kind of gives you the numbers of our employment rates in Alberta as well. We've added about 44,000 new jobs since April. So that makes up about 60% of Canada's job growth, which is huge.
So as an investor as well, I think you know a lot of people are coming to Calgary because of the affordability aspect, because of the standard of living, and you know that's going to continue to keep growing. Ranked world's 3rd best city to find a job and 2nd highest level of educational attainment. The other thing, you touched on it, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit more, is the oil and gas industry, and that they're not just relying on that. I think we all know, I have family out in Alberta, they have businesses out there. Anytime the oil and gas dropped, everything kind of came to a standstill. And I think that the government was very, very smart in Alberta to realize that they need to diversify. They need to stop relying on oil and gas. So they really heavily brought in tech sector businesses. They gave a lot of incentives, like you talked about with interest, with the only paying 8% tax, to incentivize big businesses to come down. The other thing is the government is actually investing over $1 billion into the infrastructure of Calgary, most of it going to downtown Calgary. So they're actually redoing the entire Stampede grounds because, as you mentioned, there's over 1 million people coming to the Stampede. It's a massive, massive piece of tourism for them, which is great business. And they're investing a lot of money into the downtown core, which I believe, and we've all seen it, is that that's really gonna create a drive in your rates of your property and your appreciation. I was not a big believer of Calgary, only because I'm from the prairies, and to me, I just thought of the prairies as my childhood and didn't want to go back. But when you actually fundamentally broke it down and talking to a lot of friends, colleagues, looking at the stats from Zonda, from all these places, it makes sense. And I mark my words that in 5 years, 5 to 10 years, we're gonna be sitting here having a very different conversation because Calgary is still on the rise. It's not coming down, and you're looking at where interest rates are right now. Every other place, Vancouver, Toronto, we're getting hit. Sales are down. They're declining substantially, but yet here you have a market that is still selling, and they actually have the least amount of supply that they've ever had in new builds in Q3 of 2023. This is the lowest amount they've ever had of supply. because it's being absorbed and they have never seen this before. This is new to them, and I think it's because more and more people are seeing that it's affordability. And if you want to get into the market, or your clients want to get into the market, fundamentally, to put down 20% is a lot of money. A lot of people don't have at our price points 20% deposits. I mean, it is very difficult. So, you know, the way I look at it, and a few friends that I had that they couldn't get into this market here is, okay, well, let's put your money somewhere else. Let's get you into the market, because I think we can all agree that getting into real estate is always a good play. You can never go wrong. It's a long-term hold. Get in now. So why don't I put you here? Because I know that it's only 10%. I know the market's going up. I think it's a good buy, and at least it gets you into the market. So, you know, don't necessarily always look for your first home. Maybe it's that you invest first, and then you use that equity and that appreciation to then take it out and buy, you know, your property or your home, or continue to grow your portfolio.